Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Stevie.
And welcome to the Unhinged Smut Book Club podcast.
It's like a hot dog down a hallway.
Basically, she's mean to him and he's into it.
They're about to get a very untherapized version of Morgan. I am so excited to see what other weird things she can make sexy.
Your barometer is so fucked these days.
We discuss the most unhinged smut that the publishing world has to offer.
It's a book club, but for sluts.
And it's been a day.
It's been a day. I'm really looking forward to sitting here and chatting with you because I have just had an incredibly emotional day. An incredibly emotionally exhausting week. So, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm trying to buy a car. You know the drama.
I know the drama.
But it's been 6 weeks since we gave them
so much money.
Like over 50% of the cost of the car. And they still have not shipped our car to us. And that's really frustrating. And every time they're not communicating. And today we found out they needed more paperwork after finding out they needed more paperwork on Wednesday. And if you see that an American woman got kicked out of the United Kingdom for causing a fist fight, that was probably me. If you see that in the headlines this weekend.
Yeah, they're about to get a very untherapized version of Morgan.
You don't know it, but I used to be crazy.
Right.
I go to therapy now.
Yep.
But I'm about to unleash my former self.
You're about to learn about my maiden name real quick.
Literally, you are about to see my father's daughter in action as she was meant to be.
I kind of want to see it one day. In like a justified situation.
It takes a lot now to get me to that point.
As it should,
Yeah.
which is good. But yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I've never thrown a water bottle through someone's windshield, but I will not confirm or deny if I have not thrown beverages and other things at people's windshields before.
Yeah, honestly, LA, fly Morgan out, load her up with caffeine, and just send her into a crowd of ICE agents, and your problem's going to be solved.
I don't have a great arm, but I mean, there's a bunch of them. I can, it's fine. I feel like I could fight God right now.
I know. I know.
And I want to. So I'm really glad to be here with you tonight to talk about books.
Same. I am fully into I am uncomfortable, at least mildly uncomfortable at all times stage of pregnancy. And I was just telling Morgan before this, I was having Braxton Hicks all day yesterday, like some big ones where I was like, Jesus Christ. But I was like, I don't know if I just recognize what they are now or if they're actually happening so much earlier than my first pregnancy. But it feels like my uterus is shrink wrapping around my baby. Like that is what.
Oh no.
It's also what my stomach looks like because you can just like see like the two lumps of like a vague head and butt. I'm like, ow, stop it. But I'm a lot better today. It's great.
Yeah, it probably was that you just didn't have enough water.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, not my normal like 4 gallons of water that I drink a day because I'm like obsessively attached to my water bottle. I had a dream the other night that I gave birth. And it was kind of like Inception where, you know, where he's like, I know you're dreaming because tell me how you got here right now. I like popped into like crowning in my dream. And I did not have an epidural. And I was like, I'm fucking doing this. Yeah. And I was like, hell yeah. And then she was here. And I was like, wait, I don't remember labor. How did I get here? What is happening? And my baby looked Middle Eastern. And me and my husband are both pretty fair complexion, hair color, everything. And so we were like, I don't know what's happening right now. It was a very weird dream. But yeah, she just popped right out.
I have heard that can be the case.
I hope so. My first labor was objectively pretty easy.
I had a really easy first labor, and my doula, because I got my daughter out in like 10 pushes is what my husband had said, and I think it was less than 10 minutes of pushing. Like I was ready. I was also almost 42 weeks pregnant, so that's part of it, but I was ready.
We also both had pretty small babies.
Yeah.
Like 6 pounders ish.
She was an ounce shy of 7 pounds, 6'15". So
okay.
But 6'15" at
Still
42
small.
weeks.
Yeah.
After I got her out, my doula was like, you know, if you had a second one, that it would probably just fly right out. You got a lot of room going on in there. And I was like, thanks, Maida. That's exactly what everybody wants to do.
It's like a hot dog down a hallway.
Just
kidding.
Thanks, Maida.
So Dutch.
She's American. What? She married a Dutch man.
Oh, okay.
But she was a labor and delivery nurse in San Francisco for many years, and then she moved to Europe. They lived in a couple different countries, but she settled on being a maternity nurse and a doula once they got to the Netherlands because she didn't want to have to redo her nursing license.
Yeah,
honestly,
sense.
fair enough.
Truly.
Yeah, so she was a labor and delivery nurse.
Giving birth outside of the U.S., well, A, is a blessing, but B, is wild.
Yeah, it's, well, because you have all of our content, all of our media and knowledge when it comes to labor and delivery and pregnancy is U.S. based because that's where we're from. That's what we know from our friends and our family. And then we go overseas and... I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
They didn't want to do a strep B test on me in the Netherlands. And that affects like 35% of pregnancies.
Here it's not the norm, but the doctor we see works with a lot of Americans, and so he just knows to do it.
I had asked for it, and they said, well, why do you want to do that? And I was like, well, it's standard practice in America. Is it okay if we do it just in case?
Can I pay you?
Yeah, and they said, no, it's not a problem. It's just not standard what we do here. But yeah, we're more than happy to do it. Take your pants off. And I was like, oh, okay. And they swabbed me right there. And they said, well, you know, if it comes back bad. And I said, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But I had gestational diabetes, and my friends who had gestational diabetes in America got non-stress tests starting at like 34 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, they were getting regular non-stress tests, and I didn't get any of that. And I had asked if I needed that, and they said, why would you need that? You've had a perfectly healthy pregnancy.
Fair enough.
I was complaining to the doctor that like travels around for embassies and stuff one time about it, and I was like, it's just a really different experience, and I'm nervous because this is my first baby. And he said, you know, it's fair to be nervous because that's what your reference point is, but when you look at the data, they do not have a higher maternal or fetal death rate than we do in America. It's actually lower. Yeah. So it may be different, but the data is what the data is, and you're probably okay with what they're doing. Yeah. If that makes you feel more comfortable. And it did make me feel more comfortable. Just like having somebody reframe it for me. I was like, you know what, you're right. In the Netherlands, 1/3 of pregnancies or 1/3 of births happen in the home. They have the highest home birth rate in the developed world. It's like 35%.
Maybe it's just because we're not living in like long-term homes here, where I like feel at home and comfortable, but like this isn't my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm like, I don't know. I also have first responder parents, and the first thing my mom said was like, because I was like, oh, birth centers are really popular here, and she was like, don't. She's like, do you know how many calls I've run to birth centers? And I'm like, I wasn't planning on it because I want drugs, but that too.
There you go. I guess our listeners did not expect they were going to get.
Yeah, like a whole like birth story tangent. Might cut some of that out, but
maybe.
That's the only thing I'm thinking about right now is what birth is going to be like. We have exciting news.
We do have some exciting news. I was going to say, so something else that we can talk about that's happening in our podcast life. So we recently partnered with the Anything Goes romance book subscription box.
Yes, they are new. So they are a sister subscription box to one that already exists called Scent Stories and Surprises, which I don't know if it's necessarily a book subscription box, but has a lot of like bookish merch. So like candles, things like that. And this one is a book box, but it really caters to our kind of people that are into more unconventional romance. So it's a lot of monster romance.
Mm-hmm.
I believe their first box is going to have Pounded by Produce, which we literally just covered.
Yep.
A lot of books they featured we've covered or are on our TBR. And so I reached out and was like, hey, our vibes are very similar.
Yeah, we've been
we
following them for a while because before it turned into a subscription box, she would do, she had like themes every single day of like Sci-Fi Sunday, Tentacle Tuesday, where she would suggest it would be like a one book suggestion in that theme and in that niche. So she kind of already built a following based around that. And then I think had this idea for the romance subscription box, which is super fun.
Super fun. And it's small business, woman owned.
Queer woman owned.
Queer woman owned, yep. And that's fucking rad. And so if you're interested, they are starting later this month, and you can get 10% off with our code unhinged, UNHINGED, which we'll put in our episode description.
Yeah.
And that's a fun new way to support us and get something fun and support a small business.
Pre-orders open for the September box August 1st.
Pre-orders open like 2 days ago.
If you're listening to this, pre-orders are open for the September box, which is Pounded by Produce by GM Fairy. We're really excited to partner with them.
And they have tiers. So, like, it's not just, like, one type of box. So you can get more or less depending on how much you want to spend, which I think is very cool. I don't feel like a lot of book subscription boxes do that. So, all right. Well, should we get in? This is our July wrap-up episode. Reading wrap-up.
Yep.
Are you ready to get into some books?
I'm ready to get into some books.
Let's do it. You read a lot more than me.
Probably.
It was a bit of a slump for me.
That's fine. I'm feeling that way right now, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
I finally finished Dinosaurs at the Dinner Party by Edward Dolnick.
Fun.
It was so fun. I give it 5 stars. I'm really excited that I finished it. I'm not going to talk too long about it because I think I've mentioned it on 2 podcasts now at this point.
Yeah.
But the ending, it goes all the way up to Charles Darwin, because once Charles Darwin came on the scene and started to talk about evolution is really when
the big shift happened.
The big shift in terms of science and religion and stuff happened. And I loved the excerpt from Darwin's journal that said, or a letter that he sent to someone, he said that he knew what he was about to do was basically like committing murder. And he was afraid to launch his findings, even though he knew his findings were important and significant to the scientific community. So
very Galileo with the sun being the center of the universe.
Yep. He knew that it was important and significant, and he was afraid, and he did it anyway. And then he became the darling of the scientific community. So if you want a fun little read about the discovery of dinosaurs in the 1800s, I cannot recommend this book enough. It was really fun learning about the discovery and shifting my perspective in ways that I wasn't expecting when it came to the world as we knew it, and also dinosaurs.
I would love to go to the Galapagos Islands.
Same.
My books, we can save the ones we mutually talked about.
Together?
For the end. Or maybe when it's my turn. I read a very good book, and I'm going to talk about it for a long time.
A long time?
I have a lot of feelings about it, and I think everyone should read it. It is called When They Call You a Terrorist by Patrice Cullors.
Yeah, you started talking about this one last month.
So she is one of the founders of
Black Lives
Matter. Regardless of how you feel about that movement, I think you should read this book. Because she gets so vulnerable with her story and her personal experiences and things that happened to her family. And I cried so many fucking times.
You don't cry.
Morgan, I wept. It hit me right in the motherhood.
Oh,
aggressively. And I'll talk about that scene, and I'll probably cry again. But yeah, it made me cry like several times. Just the first like half is the majority of her like childhood up into like adulthood. there's a lot of things. The one that really got me is when her dad died. And the second that really got me was a scene where she has a brother who's mentally ill. And he went to prison, was diagnosed in prison, came out, was not doing well. It was it's a journey with him. And he ends up getting, like, the stupidest fucking thing. Gets a terrorism charge for, like yelling at a woman he got in a fender bender with. Like, batshit fucking crazy.
What?
Yeah. Terrorism. And so I think that's where, like, that the title for the book comes from. Plus, a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests ended up getting called that eventually.
Right.
But she's like, that's not the first time that's been weaponized against me. But there's this scene. Oh, because he went off his meds. Because he was manic. And you feel great. And then
Yeah.
in jail, he hit a depressive state and was, like, begging for medication. They wouldn't give him medication, like, that he was prescribed, you know? And so they had him, like, tied down just all the time. And, like, oh my, it pisses me off. But the moment that really fucking killed me is it's his court date. They literally have him Hannibal Lecter style strapped down with, like, a spit mask on too and everything. Like, horrific. And he's so clearly incoherent that the judge was like, who the fuck decided that dragging this man into a courtroom was appropriate? Like, and so the judge was like, we're not doing this right now. Like, this is not.
Thank God for that.
Right. And not that his charges were dismissed, but, like, I don't know. Court date was moved. They got him a better lawyer, but he's incoherent the whole time. And then, as they wheel him out, the only coherent thing he says is he calls for his mom. And I just picture, like, that woman had to sit there and look at her baby suffering and not be able to do fucking any, and, like, call out for her and not be able to even, like, go hold his hand. And I was in the car with my daughter, just like, I've cried. I've, like, remembered it and just started crying, like, at least 3 separate times. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. But yeah, that book got me a couple times. But it made me really check my white fragility a bit, because I was like, I don't know if I can fucking finish this. It's hard to listen to, or at least the first half. That's a very, not the whole thing, but, like, parts of it are, like, really fucking hit you. And I had to be like, how, like, I'm wanting to put this book down because it's hard to listen to, but, like, she couldn't walk away from her life. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like being a person who benefits from white supremacy, the least I can do is listen to your story. You know what I mean? Yeah. And, like, even when it's hard. And I'm glad I did, because it was a very moving book. And I think it would be I think particularly a good read if you are uncomfortable with the Black Lives Matter movement, because I just don't know how you could read someone's personal account of, like, this is my lived experience that has shaped my worldview, that has led me to doing something like this. These are the violence and injustices that I witnessed from early childhood, how they impacted me directly, my family directly, my community directly. And that's why I wanted to do something about it. Yeah. And so I think it's a very important read.
I'm going to assume you gave it 5 stars.
I gave 5 stars. And also, oh my God, I don't know how.
It's like a brain altering 5 stars.
Yeah. I don't know how a person could write something so, like, poetically and, like, beautifully, but also still be very, like, direct, concise, like, very to the point, direct, like, saying what she means to say, but it's written, there's, like, it's beautiful writing still at the same time. I'm just like, that is a talent that I fucking wish I had.
Yeah.
Because Wow.
Yeah, that often is not the case, because to write beautifully and poetically often requires flourish, and flourish is not concise.
Exactly. I'm like, how
did you do that?
Talent. And also just to be...
probably a really good editor, too, to help her pare it down.
Fair enough, yeah. But yeah, because she is amazing to be, like, because I think she would call herself, like, a community organizer first. Mm-hmm. And obviously an amazing one to have initiated a literal global movement, and also have, like, these talents outside of that. I'm like, damn. What else can you do?
Save some for the rest of us.
Right? Like, imagine, like, if she had the time to, like, not be fucking worried about injustice all the time, like, what she could create. It pisses me off.
If we were all afforded the luxury of just a quiet life.
Right? But sometimes I think struggle shapes talent also. Not that it's, like, worth it in that case, but, you know, I think if we all had easy lives, like, art sometimes comes from suffering. But yeah. And it also made me feel a little better about, like, having like, intentionally having a baby right now in the world we're in, because she talks about intentionally choosing to have a child as a person who's, like, significantly more at risk than I am by any stretch of the imagination, literally targeted by the government. Like, her name is probably on a list somewhere.
Absolutely.
And she, like, very intentionally chose to have a child of, like, and I don't think she really touched on, like, why she chose to, but I'm like, oh yeah, of course, like, if you are allowed to want a family and to pursue that dream in the face of
adversity
and
the government,
strife and struggle and
the government.
Yeah. Like, you're allowed to find joy, and if having a family is part of your joy, you're allowed to do that. Even when you're a little scared about it.
When you're a little scared about it.
Yeah. But yeah, no. 5 stars. And it's pretty quick. I think it was like a 6-hour audiobook.
Okay.
I mean, it took me weeks because I kept weeping. But
I think that's fine. I think that a lot of people in activism would say to you, if you can't digest it all in one go, it's okay to put it down.
100%.
Because if you can't digest it in one go, you're not going to absorb the message in the way that you need to. You have to be, especially in activism, especially with hard stories, you have to be in the right frame of mind to be able to empathize with what is going on. And in the same way, for a lot of people, you can't step away from your life when the hard shit is happening. But if you are having hard shit going on in your life and your friend is like, can I tell you about the hard shit that's going on in my life? You're like, no, I cannot handle that right now. And that happens to a lot of people. And so, of all walks of life. And I think the books like this might be a similar fashion of like, you might not just you might be at capacity and you can't handle this right now, and we gotta get to a place where we're regulated again to where we can take in this information, because taking in the information is different than having to live through it. Resiliency is not reading a book. Resiliency is right, like, resiliency is living it and then later
processing it
but one of the important things about reading nonfiction stories like this, about reading fiction stories like this, is that if it is hurting you in such a way, your empathy is working. Your empathy receptors are absolutely working. And the fact that it was so hard, and you could say to yourself, like, I cannot imagine this, and this is so hard, and I can't believe that she made it through this. Your empathy receptors are working overtime. Right? That you're able to put yourself in the shoes of another person. That's exactly what books like this set out to accomplish, and it sounds like it absolutely hit its mark.
I think I definitely, like, take things in differently since becoming a mother. Like, even like fiction things, like, even like how it's such a fantasy trope of like, oh, my mother died when I was a baby. I'm like, she probably really wanted to watch you grow up. So it's like, then you put something real in front of me, and I'm like a blubbering mess. But it also, I almost forgot to mention this. There's a lot of things, especially with like race things, that have like shifted my perspective. Like, a friend of mine is a white woman married to a black man who is wealthy, high educated, like private school, light skinned, right? So like he is a lot of proximity to privilege, and still, because she said like a moment that like changed her brain chemistry was him saying, well, yeah, my dad very explicitly taught me what to do when a cop pulls me over because I could die. Yeah. And she was like, oh, I was never no, besides pull over. Yeah. Like, that was it. Yeah. And that's something I told to my husband once, and he was like, huh. I was like, yeah. And I had a cop for a stepdad, so I was very explicitly and cops laugh at me though when I don't even like grip the steering wheel. I have my hands flat on the wheel, and they like ask for my stuff, and I'm like, it's in my purse, is it okay if I reach for it? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, if I look different, you would shoot me. Yeah. So
if I moved too quickly.
Pisses me off when they don't take me seriously, because it just like highlights that. But no, the thing that this book made me realize was I have a sister who has a mental illness in the same family of what Patrice's brother had, and was very into drugs for a long time. There were years where we kind of didn't know where I don't know how we knew she was like alive or dead. Someone did.
Great.
But yeah, she was just like gone doing, I still don't know what the fuck that girl has done in her life.
I wonder one day if she'll tell you.
Maybe. Maybe after she's in a very different place now, and so I think a lot of it makes her really uncomfortable. But at no point, we like fully did not know where she was or what she was doing, but at no point were we worried that she would get, if she had interactions with police, that it would go sideways. Yeah. If she went to jail, that it would be like a unfair sentencing or like a disproportionate amount of time spent in jail. Like, we just never fucking crossed my mind that would be a thing that would happen. And so, yeah, this book made me think a lot and cry a lot. Think and cry.
I'm happy for you for that. I don't think you released tears enough.
I agree. It was really cathartic. So if you're like me and you need to cry about something, highly recommend.
My husband tried to re-explain the internet to me last night, and I was crying about it. I jokingly was like, I'm gonna cry, and he was like, no, you're not. And then I started crying, and he was like, what's wrong? He was so patient, so passionate, right? Like, this, it's clearly his passion. Internet is his passion. Not being on it, but anything electronic, if it has wires, he likes it. And he was like, this just comes so naturally, so easy to me. Like, not in a mean way, I don't understand how you don't understand this. And I said, I don't understand how you can't go talk to strangers. And he went, you know what? Fair enough. You just sink my battleship with that one. He just...
Mic drop. Okay.
Yeah, it was me. You had to read this incredibly emotional book to shed tears. Meanwhile, I cried over I didn't understand the internet the way I thought I did.
I was a little bit frustrated.
I was a lot frustrated.
Fair enough, yeah.
But I was still crying over the internet.
It's so funny.
Oh my goodness.
So funny.
Okay. Kind of in the same vein, but also not. But a book that made me cry, which is most books, but a book that made me cry. I finished Chain Gang All-Stars by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah.
I started that.
You started it? Are you going to come to book club?
And I was immediately, like, it is a book, like, first pages. You're like, yes. I'm in.
I'm in. The audiobook is really good, too, because they have separate narrators.
That's what I'm listening to.
Nice. I did pick up the paperback after I started the audiobook because I was like, there are too many characters.
It shifts perspective a lot.
And then I started to have feelings. And I was like, I need a paperback copy so I can scribble in it. I gave that book 5 stars. Holy fucking shit. Now that I know that you're reading it, I will not... I didn't put a lot of notes down on here, but I did say the vast emotional damage in all capital letters. There were certain...
the characters you're in the perspective of are battling to the death. So, like, someone's going to die and you're going to be sad about it.
Yeah. So, if you're not familiar with Chain Gang All-Stars, it's this idea that people who are spending life in prison can commute their sentence to 3 years. And in that 3 years, they have to basically be modern gladiators, where they are put in an arena and they have to fight to death. And if you survive the 3 years, you are freed. They call it high freed. You can also be low freed, and low freed is when you die.
Oh.
Yeah, you'll get that.
Yeah.
High or low freed. So your goal is to be high freed, but you have to go through merciless amounts of murder to get there. And usually the people who are in these situations are murderers already. So that is really a mindfuck, isn't it? Of like, you are in jail because you murdered someone, and now if you go commit more murder, we'll let you go.
Yeah, murder's fine as long as it's for our entertainment.
Murder's fine, and so that is the thing, is that
it's very Hunger Games in that way of televised human violence.
Yes.
For general consumption.
You might not have seen it, but I have a husband who likes movies with people that go in fast cars. If you've seen the movie Death Race, it is similar to that, where people can drive cars. There are no rules. It's just win the race. And when you win 3 races, you can have your freedom. But obviously, the producers of the show, they're private prisons that are producing these shows. The producers of the shows make it to where people don't get those 3 races immediately, or to where somebody dies in the process of trying to do it. And so it's a similar thing. There are producers. They're constantly being filmed all the time. There's very small windows of time when they're not being filmed. And then there are even people in the book that are looking to capitalize on when they're not being filmed, about like, how could we turn this into a filming thing? You meet a wide cast of characters in terms of like people that are on the chain gangs, which are the teams that are fighting. You cannot ever fight your own team member. So somebody who's on your chain, you can't fight another link. Like, you'll never be put in the battleground with them. And there are all sorts of different ways that they interact. And they have you gotten to the point where
I'm very early on.
Okay, they have to do this when they're not in the hub cities fighting in the arenas. They are literally walking. They're walking to their next hub city, or to the next place that they're going to be picked up. And so that is reminiscent of like what enslaved people had to do.
I immediately went like Trail of Tears, but that's not necessarily like probably what they're trying to evoke. But yeah.
Well, chain gang was a loose phrase, not a loose phrase. It was a slang phrase for a group of enslaved people.
Okay. I'm connecting dots. I always connected it with like prisoners picking up litter on the side of the road.
Also that, but
I see how we got from A to B there.
Yeah, this book has a lot of those little subtleties that, like, if you're not clued into the history of it, and the history outside of what we were taught in traditional American schooling.
Yeah.
And there were even things that, like, I did not realize about our own fucking Constitution that are in this book, and I Googled it, and I was like, wait a second. That's not just for the book. And it's not. It is actually real. Sorry if it sounds weird. I'm adjusting. I'm adjusting my sitting situation. But, man, you haven't gotten, but there's a character called Simon J. Kraft, and every single time, I think for the first 3 or 4 times that Simon J. Kraft was on page, I was sobbing. Yeah. And these people are positioned in such a way that they are not human. They are just for consumption, and they are just for entertainment. And let's be very clear, it's like pay-per-view murder. But because they're fighting, it's fine. And because they're former criminals, it's fine.
And because I'm going to make an assumption here based on the few characters I've heard described so far in the fights I've seen. They're black. Yeah.
They're black. A lot of them are. Yeah, there's a couple that are not. Like,
I'm sure. Yeah.
Not to say the other characters that you meet, like Thurwar and Stax and Sunset, there are a lot of black characters. There's also a lot of not black characters. There's a lot of white characters that I fucking hated. Simon is white, but it's just the way that he God, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. And it is like, it's dystopian in the way of like,
it's too close to reality.
do not let somebody get a hold of this book that holds any modicum of power or like this is going in Project 2028. You know what I'm saying? Like this is so far fucking beyond.
It's too feasible.
It's too feasible in the way that like as we've watched the world progress, the Handmaid's Tale got a little too feasible. And Margaret Atwood did say that like she based that book around how Black women were treated in early America and how enslaved Black women were treated. Now it's come full circle, right? And we're turning it around. And Project 2025 basically tries to accomplish doing shit like that as well. Like some fucking idiot saw The Handmaid's Tale and took that as a fucking playbook instead of a warning.
Yeah.
And I feel that way about this book. That this is potentially, this book is a warning. This book is, if we do not fucking seriously consider making it right. We've talked about this before in that America was built on the backs of Black people. America was built on the system of white supremacy. And we never did anything to undo those systems. Instead, we just continued to build on a fucking elephant graveyard. It is not.
Our foundation is crumbling.
Our foundation is full of ghosts.
Yeah.
And spooky things. And all of the things we did wrong. And I think if we do not seriously look at it and consider prison reformation and consider defunding the police and consider how we treat people and how we treat our communities, this book is a very stark warning of what we could be looking at in the next 50 years. And
especially with like how desensitized to just like hate people have.
Yeah. Well, and
some people have become.
This book came out 2 years ago in 2023. And I think it's hitting more true now than ever, the way that we have dehumanized people when they're behind a screen. We forget, maybe not we as in you and I, but like biblically, we as a society.
The greater we.
The greater we. Me and the frog in my pocket. We have forgotten that there are real humans behind the screens. And we have forgotten it in a major way, not just like when MySpace was new and people would bully each other, like when cyberbullying first started. We've gone so far beyond cyberbullying at this point. Go to therapy. Get off the fucking internet. Log out. Delete your account. Put your phone through a shredder. Go touch fucking grass and interact with your neighbors.
Go to a park. Go and have a conversation.
Go to the library and speak to the librarian. Go find God for the love of everything. Right. Are you joking? And that I think is so eloquently modeled in this book, in that we have become so desensitized to violence. We have become so desensitized to death. We have become so desensitized to suffering that they were able to make this a pay-per-view sport. Insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, this book changed me irrevocably.
Irrevocably.
Stop it. This book changed my entire life. It changed my entire brain chemistry. I am really glad that it got picked for book club, and I'm really glad that everybody was like, nope, we can just kick this one down the can, because I had norovirus the day we were supposed to have book club for this book.
I'm glad it got rescheduled so that I had time to read it and I could actually go. I think this is one I'm going to suggest to my husband because he loves Hunger Games. Okay. So I'm like in my process of radicalizing that man.
I think it's really fun the way that you have been able to radicalize your husband simply through pragmatism. Of just being pragmatic.
My husband is a very rational person. He's very, very logical. And so when you cannot put him in a country where there's no guns, and he's like, oh, I'm not worried about a bad guy with a gun.
I'm not worried about a good guy with a gun either.
Sounds like that argument is invalid.
Yeah.
I feel safer here. Maybe we should get rid of guns. I'm living in a country that has socialized healthcare and it's been pretty fucking great overall. Yeah. Why can't we figure this out? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Mr. Steve really responds to pragmatism. He really does. To rational, data-driven thought.
He grew up in a small Midwest town and went to Catholic school. So his exposure to people who think differently or have different lived experiences was so limited. And now that it's not, he's changed his mind on a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in exposure therapy, gently, right? But like Richard, my father, has a lot of views that we butt heads about. I think my dad and I we have similar, not the same, we have similar politics in that we have similar ideals for what we would like
values,
to see from this country and like congressional term limits.
I mean, there's so much that isn't right versus left. It's rich versus poor, and they convince us it's right versus left so that we keep yapping at each other and don't unite against the ruling wealthy class.
They keep it left versus right instead of rich versus poor, instead of a class war.
Rich. That is why that's like a huge reason why racism prevails in this country, because it was better to be a poor white tenant farmer, because at least you're not a black tenant farmer.
Yes.
Sharecropper is the word I was looking for. But yeah.
That I learned a couple months ago.
Because everyone wants to feel better than someone else.
Right. Well, especially white people. But I learned recently, a few months ago, that Abraham Lincoln didn't want to emancipate enslaved people because it was the right thing to do. Abraham Lincoln wanted to emancipate enslaved people because think of the poor white people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an economic policy.
Mm-hmm. I didn't fucking realize that. No, because nobody taught me that. And so it's, unlearning these things. But I forgot where I was. Oh, but my dad, he has never had a problem with the queer community. I wouldn't call Richard an ally, but...
Not an antagonist either.
Not an antagonist either. He's very much like, you do your thing, I do my thing. It doesn't bother me. Like, I want you to be happy. You found someone you love. That's incredible. He does have inflammatory views when it comes to trans people, but I think he's regurgitating...
I think that's being shoved down people's throats.
Yes, and I think he's regurgitating what he sees in his echo chamber.
Yeah. I think trans people and immigrants are scapegoats right now.
Absolutely.
Just like, that's it.
Absolutely.
It's like so fucking stupid.
They're the easiest people to come for right now.
Yeah.
But when I push back on him, or he was under the impression of like drag queens are predators for a long fucking time because it's what's being pushed down his throat through the media he consumes. He went on a cruise last summer, and it was a adults only cruise, a Virgin Voyages, and they had drag bingo, drag trivia, like pub quiz. They had drag performances, like drag brunch, drag dinner show. My dad went to everything drag related. He went to drag bingo on the first night or the first day to like check it out. The man loves bingo. Who doesn't love bingo?
He's an old guy. It's on brand.
Listen, I also love bingo.
I know, it is fun. And it is a staple cruise activity.
Exactly. So he went to bingo. I think the only bingo option was drag bingo, but he's like, fuck it, whatever. And in the middle of drag bingo, if you've never done drag bingo, there's also drag performances. This drag queen was singing live, which my dad thought was awesome. He took pictures with the drag queen. He went to every single drag thing. He had so much fun. And he was like, Morg, drag is awesome. And I was like, yes, Dad, drag is awesome. I don't know what it's just theater kids who took it an extra notch. That's all drag is. It's just theater kids, okay? And so his mind, his opinion has been changed on what drag queens are and what drag queens mean to the community. And so much of his opinions can be changed on things with a little bit of exposure therapy, with a little bit of him experiencing, oh, we're just two people living in the world. That's cool. That's cool. And I'm a very firm believer in, like, you start to expose people to the broader world around them, not even leaving their countries to go to a developing nation to be like, oh, I'm so lucky. Just literally take them to drag bingo.
Yeah, of just human like to human connection. And I think that's a huge part of our issue. And it made me think of, like, you're like, put the screen down. Because, like, I think our, like, third spaces have very intentionally been stripped away so that we're more and more isolated, so that like we're not having human to human interaction, so that it's a lot easier for them to dehumanize groups of people because you only ever interaction with the idea of transgenderness is the Fox News telling you that like kids are peeing in litter boxes because they identify as cats in school.
That's not fucking happening.
It's not fucking happening. It's not. Yeah. So
it's so silly to me.
I don't even know how we got here. This was like such a long political rant. Anyways,
I think
the rest of this is very fluffy.
Oh, it's super fluffy. If you've made it this far,
smut other than this,
but we were talking about Chain Gang All-Stars.
Yeah.
And this book definitely altered my brain chemistry. I was not openly like sobbing, but the soft sobs, the gentle weeping of like my heart is breaking as I'm reading this book. And I feel like you have to know that like there is going to be, the ending is going to leave you grappling because of the content of the book, and the ending left me grappling. I cried. I screamed. There's no right answer at the end of the book, unfortunately. And either way, I would have had the same reaction. With like any way that the author could have twisted that, I would have had the same reaction. And it just, I will probably not stop thinking about this book for the rest of the year. And I'm so glad it's a book club book and that we get to talk about it with other people.
Yeah, 100%.
Because of how I felt about things. That's why I left it to be a book club book.
Yeah.
So maybe one day I could read it with other people and we could all talk about our emotional damage together.
Yeah. Good shit.
Tell me about the smut you read this month.
All right. So, we wrote, well, this one I think you read last month and I read in July. Pounded by Produce.
We both read Pounded by Produce.
We both read it, but I think you read it in end of June. I read it in July, beginning of July, before we recorded.
Before we recorded?
Yeah, so this is not one we had in common, even though it's a podcast book. But yeah, so I won't get too far into it because we have a whole episode out about it. But I am not a priest kink girl, but I am a GM fairy girl. I am loyal to her. I am so excited to see what other weird things she can make sexy.
There's a Pinocchio book coming out.
Girl, I know. Oh, I know. I know.
You ain't gotta tell me, girl.
I'm intrigued.
You are?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. When it comes to smut, I like prefer it weird. Like, I would rather we read like a weird Pinocchio puppet man, it grows when he lies, versus like, oh, they're in love and fucking about it. Like, okay, cool, good for you guys. Like,
your barometer is so fucked these days.
That's why we have this podcast.
That's why you were the only person I could bring this idea to.
Truly. But yeah, I would have liked this more if it was just gay priests and we took the FMC out of the picture. I would have been down with that. Stayed as priests. Or we could have had the same dynamic, but just a different job title. But then it wouldn't have been VeggieTales Erotica.
Yeah.
Because you had to have the religious undertones. So
yeah, it's fine. It was hot, though.
It was really... I am not a priest girly, and there were a couple moments where I was like...
Father?
Okay, yes, sir.
Daddy?
Woo! Yeah, because I love GM Fairy. I love her.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
Not podcast books. I finished The Girlfriend Agreement by Rowan Croft. I got this as an ARC.
You've been on your art game.
I have been trying. I met someone at a book tour for Daniel Jensen. That girl gets so many arcs. She showed me her NetGalley, and I'm like, you've got this, but she also gets physical arcs of like, she has already had a copy of the newest Carissa Broadbent book. She got it like 2 months ago. A physical arc, a paperback floppy physical arc.
Oh,
I know.
so jealous.
I know, right?
So jealous.
The book For Whom the Bell Tolls. She'd gotten that one. She was like, it was my favorite book of the year so far. So anyway, she was like, just request them.
Shoot your shot, yeah.
Yeah, just shoot your shot. But I did for The Girlfriend Agreement by Rowan Croft, and Rowan herself had approved that. So thank you, Rowan. I gave it 4 stars. It was enemies to lovers. She absolutely hates his fucking guts, and I think it's that I hate your guts too. Okay, maybe I like you. It was done really right. It's a bit of a billionaire romance. Are you okay?
I have like burps.
Oh, okay.
But like they're not coming, so they're just like sitting in my chest. Pregnancy, it's a beautiful thing.
It looked like you were like looking away and like trying to listen for something, and I was like, "What are you here? Do you
I'm
smell
trying
something?
to like get a burp out, but not directly
into the microphone." Okay. The banter was really fun. The banter was cutting. There was a pretty woman scene. There was emotional depth that I was not expecting from this book. I gave it 4 stars because some of the things were just very much, they're college-aged kids, college-aged adults. The female main character is almost 21 and the male main character is 22. Sure. He's about to graduate. It's his last year of college. I loved how horny everyone was while denying their feelings. It's so obvious. He falls first. The writing's on the fucking wall. Basically, she's mean to him, and he's into it. He thinks it's fun. He keeps coming back for more.
Right up your alley.
Boy, is it. It was really fun. I gave it 4 stars. It was not a perfect read to me. I think the things that the author was going for to, like, really hit you deep in your feels just didn't hit for me, and that's okay. I think if she could have made me cry, it would have been 5 stars. But otherwise, fun time.
We read Swipe Right for Monsters.
Swipe Right for Monsters.
Which that episode is also out.
Mm-hmm.
I think both books we read this month I liked more than you did. But I think we both enjoyed them for what they were.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Swipe Right for Monsters.
Swipe Right was fun.
I had nitpicky things when it came to the female main character and, like, little story things.
Which we got into in the episode.
Oh my god. Same thing happened in The Girlfriend Agreement with the birth control. It was, like, 2 books in a row that I read about, like, I'm not ovulating, but I'm on birth control.
Yeah.
We read Swipe Right for Monsters by R.O. Leary.
Oh, yes. And then, there's a reference to, like, ovulating on birth control, which isn't how, like, 90% of birth control works.
It isn't how most women take birth control or how most people with uteruses take birth control. That is not how birth control works. Yeah. You have to ask specifically for the ones that would cause ovulation.
If you hear the Morgan household...
Yeah.
In the background. That's just going to be part of the ambiance today, baby.
Sorry about that.
I'm not.
It's right around bath and bedtime.
Jim's funny. Welcome into this Sagittarius household where Jim's feisty.
Where everybody is loud. And my child requires a lot of play to get her to go along with things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry if you hear I got a loud the Sagittarius as a household. Yeah. All 3 of us Sagittarians.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It's loud. Tell me a little bit. The episode for Swipe Right for Monsters is definitely out now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that was such a fun book.
It's a fun book.
And I'm looking forward to the rest of the series.
I gave it 3.5 stars.
I feel like that's appropriate. I think I gave it 4.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I just got nitpicky with it. And then I realized also, I found for me... Sorry, we got interrupted by my daughter coming in to say goodnight. So if this cuts weird, I'm so sorry. I had found for me after I was sitting down and doing my notes for the podcast that I also did not appreciate that all of the love interest characters were white.
Yeah,
5 boyfriends and you can't have a brown one at all?
The book in general could have been more diverse. Yeah. For sure.
Absolutely.
The diversity was in species, not race.
There was a little bit of boys kissing boys. So
yeah, a little bit.
And it wasn't like I'm bi and that's fine. It just was.
Yeah.
But I agree. There could have been, I think you and I are getting to the point in our nonfiction reads and just our authors in general, especially with this podcast, where like we're seeing more and more diversity just happen naturally in the books. And
which
we're like,
I love.
Wait a second. Why is everyone white in this book?
Yeah,
that's not how the world works.
Yeah, on it. Yeah, because we're getting used to it just being like, oh yeah, boys kiss. Oh, cool, wonderful. Yeah. And then when it's not, I just like assumed we assumed we pictured
Drake as a black man.
Boyfriends as a little bit more diverse than they are, and then we were like, hold on,
why is the fan art all white dudes?
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. It was a fun book, and I'm excited for the rest of the series.
And then the other one that we read was Wacky by Nicole Parker.
Which was so silly goofy.
Yep. Bruh.
So silly. Like
that episode is also out.
Yes.
Came out last weekend.
Yeah. That is... You cannot read that with a critical eye. You just gotta go in with, like, I want to read something fucking weird. And the weirder, the better. and just accept it for what it is.
I need to start, when we read these really weird ones, I need to start, when we sit down to record, I need to be like, hey girl, can you calm down a little? I gave that book 2 stars because the characterization of some of the people pissed me off.
Oh yeah, no, you're not giving that 5 stars.
I said 2 stars. What the actual fuck? Kind of hot though. Those are my notes.
Yeah, and same across the board. 2 stars, would recommend it to a friend. To the right friend.
To the right friend.
Yeah. I'm just like, you gotta read this. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. This is in the same vein of like the Mating with Mallows book where
she's putting out a book in this universe where it is a bookstore owner and the sentient object is the bookstore.
The bookstore?
I think as a whole, not just a book. I think it's the store.
Okay.
TBD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
she's creative as fuck. You cannot say she's not. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Choices. Choices. That's fine. I am happy for Nicole Parker, and I am happy that she has people that want to read her books to where she keeps writing them. Mm-hmm. Good for her. Mm-hmm. Get that Kindle Unlimited money, girl.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably read another when I'm in the right mood for it.
Yeah.
The Furby one has me very intrigued, I'm not going to lie. I think I might have to for science.
Yeah, for the plot.
Got to.
For the plot of your own life, not the plot of the book.
I saw a TikTok of a girl just running. I don't know who she's running from or to or what, but she's recording herself. She's like, you know what? When you do things for the plot, you got to accept that sometimes the plot thickens. Like, yes.
I'm thinking of a different video, but in the similar vein of she's running away from something and she's like, if you're going to be crazy, dress cute. Because if you just run in and dressing cute, nobody is going to assume that you're crazy. Nobody's going to look at me in this outfit with my little heels on and know that I got my blippy in the back. She's a tiny little revolver pistol.
Oh my goodness.
She's like, and that I just stole the spark plugs from my ex's car.
So funny. I love it. I love it. I love it. What else did you read?
I read Well, Actually by Maisie Eddings. This is the same book as, it's not the same book, but this is the same book, different font as The Girlfriend Agreement.
Sometimes you have months like that where it's just like, this is the vibe I want and it's the vibe I'm going to get.
So I begged on the internet for an arc of this book because when I found out about this book in January, February, it consumed my every waking thought. And I begged for a copy of it. An arc, a physical arc, an e-arc, it didn't matter to me. Send it to me in smoke signals. I will sit out in the sky and watch for it because the way that the characters were described, the vibes, the screenshots from her editor, things like that, I was like, I'm fucking in and I need this book now. I cannot wait until August. And a couple weeks ago I got approved for the arc of it and it lived up to everything I was hoping. Like, it was so good. It was so, so good. It has so many good tropes and they're executed well. I have recently realized the tropification of books in terms of, like, we're only summarizing books by the tropes, but I think you have to for this one.
Listen, I feel like in the romance and fantasy genres, that's kind of what, like, you kind of know what you like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So you kind of want to know.
I agree. Well, that's what I told my husband. I was like, I literally read the same book back to back.
Yeah.
And he laughed at me. He was like, well, there's only so many ways you can say, I hate you, I like you. And I was like, you're right. But also, they were different books, but it was the same kind of characters in, like, a black cat woman, a golden retriever man. They are fake dating. She is so fucking cutting and cunning with her lines.
Love it.
She's doing it for money and to, like, further her own security in a way. Eva Kitt in the book is trying to get a leg up in terms of, like, she suddenly has all of this social media attention and she is going along with what her production company wants so that way she can hopefully get a more serious journalism job. Anyway, so here are the tropes. Second chance romance, enemies to lovers. They dated in college and he ghosted her. And so she fucking hates his ass now. And they were both journalism majors. She winds up getting a job with this company called Soundbites, and she has a like YouTube show called Sausage Talk, similar to Chicken Shop Date, where people come in and they eat hot dogs in like this 50s looking diner, but it's just a soundstage, and they eat hot dogs and she interviews them. So similar to Chicken Shop Date, and her whole thing is usually interviewing men. It's sausages, there's innuendo, right? She hates it. She wants to be taken seriously as a journalist. And she even has her own little side hustle of journalism pieces that she does, that she puts out on her own blog. And then Riley Cooper, the man that she dated, turned out to be this incredibly successful podcaster where he podcasts. He's like the anti-Andrew Tate, where he's teaching men how to be good partners. And Eva had a particularly hard day. She gets a little drunk. She is scrolling and sees, for the first time in a very long time, a Riley Cooper video of him podcasting and saying basically like how to be good in bed. He's like giving advice. And she finished a bottle of Prosecco and she stitches the TikTok and she's like, this motherfucker, I had 4 mediocre dates with him. We slept together. He didn't even make me come. And then he ghosted me. Right. And so she passes out drunk, wakes up to all of this media attention. And so her media company is like, we have to capitalize on this. Right. And they put Eva and Riley together to do like a live where they kind of like hash it out. And they had a pre-agreed to script. And Eva had feelings for him in college. And that's why she's so fucking salty about it. And he, in the middle of all of it, is like, let me take you out on some dates. Let me try and make it up to you. Let me try and like prove you wrong. And so she agrees to go on dates with him and they'll like debrief on his podcast. And they both get attention for it. But Eva is so fucking... Sorry, let me go back to the tropes. There's the enemies to lovers, so they hate each other. There's fake dating. She's like, I'm going to do this, but only for my own bag.
To take advantage of it, yeah.
Yeah. So also kind of like a workplace romance, if you think about it. They're working together. Sure. There is a ton of queer representation in this book. Riley is bisexual, Eva is pansexual, and just in general, it very naturally feels there's a lot of queer representation. Just their friend group, right? You find out you're queer, and then suddenly all of your friends are queer. Yeah. You're just a magnet for it. It has 2 of my favorite microtropes, which is no third act breakup. Still conflict at the end, but no third act breakup.
It's like a opposite of a microtrope.
I don't know. I feel like romance really relies on third act breakups, and I hate it. And one of my favorites, he comes in his pants from going down on her. It's so good. Eva's everything I aspire to be in a woman. The emotional damage she causes to men, the way she is just cutting. She's like, if a man speaks.
Ew.
Just ew. But Eva also has a lot of emotional damage, so I would like to leave that. And Riley Cooper is the perfect man. Obviously, because he's a bisexual man. I hope a man does not hear this and weaponizes that. But of all the bi men that I know, they are just perfect, goofy. They're perfect, goofy men. And everything you'd probably want in a partner, for the most part, from what I can tell. The sex scenes in this book are really good. They make sense to the plot. The fake dates are...
I do love when the smut adds to the plot and isn't just put in to be like, and there's fight, you know what I mean? I love those too, but like I like it even more when it is like relevant, not relevant, you know what I mean?
When it makes sense to the characterization.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes sense to how the story has led to that point.
Yeah.
The banter is so sharp. The banter is so witty. It is incredible. I laughed out loud so frequently while reading this book. It is not a full 5 stars for me. I give it 4.5 stars because of Eva's emotional damage, and her ability to get in her own way of her happiness drove me fucking crazy. But some people definitely relate to that. I am just not that person. But this was a great book. I'm so happy that they put me out of my misery and approved the ARC for it.
Yeah.
But it absolutely would have been worth the wait. And I do still have it pre-ordered, even though I've gotten an ARC copy, because it was just that fun of a book. And I absolutely want to support the author with it.
Nice.
Yeah. That's the end of what I read and finished. I wrote down on here problematic summer romance because I was like, I'm going to finish this today. I have 20% of the book left. I did not. No, my day went to absolute shit. But also has my favorite microtrope of he comes in his pants from going down on her. I'm like, how do I keep reading these books that have this overlap from each other?
The algorithm is algorithming.
The birth control thing that overlapped from swipe right to the girlfriend agreement, the black cat golden retriever energy from the girlfriend agreement into well actually, and then comes in his pants from going down on her from well actually into problematic summer romance. But I'm an Allie Hazelwood stan. I have a feeling this will be at least 4 stars for me. So far it's not my favorite Allie Hazelwood read, but it's definitely not down with my least favorite Allie Hazelwood read. I think it's just a solid hit for Allie.
There you go.
Anyway, I'm done. That's it. That's all my books.
So you have books to talk about that are being released in August.
Yeah.
And I have a few on my TBR that
you want to read for August?
So, yeah. Okay. So first on my TBR was on my TBR for July, but it wasn't released until like this week, very recently. A Theory in Dreaming by Ava Reed.
Yeah.
It's already out, but I am waiting for the audiobook, which comes out August 5th.
Oh, I hate when that happens when they come out separately.
But at least it's like a week apart. It's not like insane.
All the Charissa Weeks books for the Witchwalker series is like months and months apart.
Right.
And those, I need audiobooks with those ones because they're so fantasy deep.
Yeah, fantasy in general I do better with.
Audiobooks, yeah.
And the Study in Drowning, I listened to the audiobook and it was just beautiful. So I want to if I'm in a series, the way I started it is the way I have to finish it.
That makes sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a hard time going from listening to reading with like the same characters and world. My brain is just like, this is not how I'm supposed to consume this. So I have to wait. And then I have a book called Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I'm going to butcher this name. Theta Bike Iemide.
Girl, you got to start looking up pronunciations.
I haven't even read the book yet.
You want to start looking up pronunciations. Where Sleeping Girls Lie?
Yes.
Yep, I would have butchered that too.
Yeah, thank you very much. But it's a YA contemporary mystery.
I like the cover.
I know, right? It was intriguing. It was on, I think like a TikTok like photo reel of books you should read that are like vaguely creepy. I'm getting a lot of those right now because that's what mood I'm in. Because in my brain, 4th of July passed, therefore it is Halloween until...
Get out of my house.
I know, until November 1st.
Get out of my house. I don't think Halloween starts until September 1st. That is how my brain works.
I don't let myself get like decorate for it, but I start thinking about it. And maybe buying a couple things if I see them in the store.
You people drive me crazy. I love you so much. You people drive me crazy.
The biggest thing I'm looking forward to right now is a goddamn motherfucking pumpkin spice iced chai latte from Starbucks. Which, excuse me for supporting financially a union buster, but it's goddamn motherfucking good. It is liquid pumpkin pie. And I won't regret it one tiny bit.
Especially not because you'll be pregnant.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, so excited. I have a really good recipe. I'm very close to just buying the ingredients for it and making it again. But it's about a girl who goes to a boarding school and starts to uncover dark secrets after her roommate disappears.
Ooh.
I'm not big on YA, but I can fuck with YA mystery.
I have a book that I think I'm going to read because I read so many romances back to back to back to back. I need to finish problematic summer romance so that way I can like be in the right headspace for it. But it's called Don't Let the Forest In. Ooh. And it's a YA spoopy book. It's also a queer. It's 2 boys, but he goes to a boarding school for his senior year, and he's always had this friend who he likes, but his parents are abusive, and he has a crush on him. But the main character who it's about writes these like twisted horror fairy tales, and Thomas, the guy he has a crush on, does the drawings for them. He like brings the creepy characters to life, And then Thomas shows up late one day and his parents are missing and he has blood on his sleeve. And it kind of is like they run away into the forest for something. This is all on the back of the book, but they go into the forest for something and they encounter one of these monsters that he's written, and Thomas has... Yeah, I'm really excited to read it because I need to get out. I think I just need a genre buster.
Yeah.
So when I finish it, you can borrow it.
I'm going to have to, because that is so...
It's like sold out everywhere right now, too. I had happened to find it on Vinted.
There is like paranormal research teams, and this happened like decades ago, but it was a group of people who got together who was like, can we manifest a spirit? Like, we're in this house, there's no history of someone dying here, but like they essentially like manifested this spirit that like communicated with them. Like they... Crazy. And so it like makes me think of that, of like you put the energy out into the world and it kind of manifested itself. If there's one thing you should know about me, it is I love paranormal shit, which brings me to the next book that I've already started and read like 3 pages of, called Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe, which is a romance about Bigfoot hunters.
That's fun.
Yeah, right? Because I was like, let me find like a Halloween-y, because like the only thing I want to read right now is basically cartoon cover romance, but make like there's a ghost or a vampire or it's a haunted house.
Some type of paranormal.
Some type of twist to where it's not just normal people cartoon cover romance.
Well, it's like Soul Searching that comes out in September.
I can't even describe to you how excited I am for that book.
I'm really excited about that book too. But that's September's book release. That's not an August book release.
I know. I checked. I'm so excited for it.
All of the books that I was thinking about, of like, oh, those come out next month, I have to put them on the podcast, they're all for September. And I was like, well, I've already got my September list locked and loaded then.
I'm so excited.
Are there any other books you have on your TBR for the month?
That is it.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay, here's some book releases that are coming out that I'm excited about. There is, obviously, Well, Actually, by Maisie Eddings, that comes out on August 5th. There is Zom Rom-Com by Olivia Dade. Olivia Dade does a lot of plus-size representation in her books, but it is a zombie rom-com, and she pairs up, obviously, with, like, this hot guy to fight off zombies with. Turns out he's a vampire. That's all on the back of the book. So it's kind of like navigating the zombie apocalypse with also this vampire who's trying to, he's a vampire.
Side note, because I'm distracted by how hot you are.
I'm literally, dear listener, I put on all of my home cozies. I have on gym shorts and an oversized t-shirt. I took my bra off and I have not washed my hair since Sunday. So continue.
I said what I said. The way you have like your hair flipped over right now, you could rock the fuck out of like a side shave situation.
My hair isn't thick enough, but I've thought about it.
I know. I've thought about it many times too, because I also have fine hair.
I have a cowlick, and so it gives a lot of lift right there with my hair. I love a deep part though. I love like a...
Yeah, you can pry my side part from my cold dead hands.
Absolutely.
Occasionally I feel spunky and part my hair in the middle, but nope. It always goes back.
Especially if you have a cowlick like I do, right there.
Yeah, I think
on
you
your
could
hair.
really rock it.
Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that.
Carry on.
Okay. Zom Rom-Com comes out on August 5th. Also coming out on August 5th is If Not For My Baby by Kate Golden, which is like hosier fan fiction.
Hot. I love how legitimized fan fiction has become. I want to do something when we have maybe more of like a larger listener base. Part of my thought is to like start with Reddit, but one of my favorite podcasts that I can't shut the fuck up about, Ladies and Tangents, because they're so fucking funny and we actually have so much in common with them. It's like very strange, and maybe one day I'll be friends with them. I feel connected to them in a very, very parasocial way. Anyways, they occasionally do an episode of just hoe stories that their audience writes in.
Nice.
Of just like sometime when you got slutty for the plot, and like
nice.
I think that would fit our niche so well, and like that like fourth week of the month of just like write in your hoe stories, or write in fan fiction you wrote in middle school that you were able to dig up and we can read it out loud, or like bad date stories, like that type of thing. I think it'd be so fun and funny, but we need more people because otherwise we would get like one email. And
yeah, our male listener in Singapore sending me an email. No, thank you.
I'll take it.
No, thank you. I had posted the other night of like, why is 42% of our listener base men?
When I look at it, it does not reflect that.
Anyway, but first of all, my husband was like, it's because you guys talk about sex.
But we're
and I was
laughing
like,
at it.
kind of.
Which I guess is some people's kink.
But my friend was like, is it possible that they're gay men? And I was like, it is possible, but I am inclined to not trust a man.
Men do also read. Occasionally.
Ew, what?
Right?
Why are they so emotionally inept then? I don't understand
Because usually
it.
they read nonfiction. I know.
Anyway, If Not For My Baby by Kate Golden comes out on August 5th, and it is basically, I don't want to call it Hosier fan fiction, but that is how I have seen it summarized. And the book cover, the male main character looks like Hosier, and he's like a tall Irish man, and we'll call it Hosier fan fiction at this point.
I'm not talking down on it.
On August 26th, Catabasis by R.F. Wong comes out, and I probably won't buy this.
That person wrote Babel, right?
They wrote Babel, Yellowface, and The Poppy Wars.
Oh my God. Prolific.
Yeah.
So do you know if it's a man or a woman?
Woman.
Okay.
Rebecca is her name.
Gotcha.
I have read all 3 of The Poppy Wars. I've read the trilogy, and that book, people talk about it being, that is like your back catalog must read fantasy in terms of like, you have to read this to call yourself a fantasy reader, or it's just like a prolific thing. I haven't read Babel or Yellowface. I have read
Babel I own the audiobook. I haven't read it yet.
I too own the audiobook, but I haven't read it yet. I think I also own the ebook and haven't read it yet. But the Poppy Wars books, goddamn, I would not give them 5 stars because of creative choices, but I can see how people would give them 5 stars. And so I will probably put Catabasis on reserve because it is her dark academia debut. So I will probably put it on reserve through Libby when it comes out, but I'm still on the fence about how I feel about R.F. Wong as a writer for creative choices because I wasn't a huge fan.
Just personal preference.
Yeah, I can appreciate the Poppy Wars for what it is, and I can appreciate its cultural significance, and I can appreciate the message that was trying to be had with those books. And did I receive emotional damage from those books? Abso-fucking-lutely I did. And I do think that people should read them. If you like fantasy, I think you should pick up the Poppy Wars because I think, but they are graphic and intense books. Graphic and intense books, and at times feel like an absolute fucking slog because what they are going through is an absolute fucking slog.
Yeah.
It's war, and they're marching because it's feudal China, and they're marching from village to village. I get it. It's fine. But for me, man, Rebecca, did 30% of this book need to be just chapter after chapter of them marching through the mountains for the love of Christ? It's
Anyways.
fine. I'm excited about it because it's a little different than some of the other things that she's done and different than some of the things I'm familiar with for her. And it has been hotly anticipated for over a year now. And so it's finally coming out. I will reserve it. I will read it. I will report back. It's also, I think, her first dive into like a lovers. It's like dark academia rivals to lovers, but I think that's a subplot. I think it's fantasy with a romance subplot, not a romantasy. And then the last book that I have had on my radar that I am excited about is a male fantasy enemies / rivals to lovers, and it is an academia rom-com. So,
fantasy, gay, academia, rom-com. That's a lot of boxes.
It's a lot of boxes. Somebody described it as if Allie Hazelwood met Dungeons and Dragons.
Fun. Okay.
It's called The Entanglement of Rival Wizards.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like it.
And the cover is like a cartoon cover, but it's like an elf and a vampire, an elf and a wizard. And you can tell
precisely what I was just talking about wanting.
There's golden retriever energy, black cat energy, just even from the cover. Like, it's coming off of it of like, he fucking hates his ass. And he's just a silly, goofy dude. who's trying to hit on him while they're working in the lab together.
Love it.
Yeah. So that one's been on my radar for a couple months, and that one comes out also on August 26th. Yeah. Gay, wizards, STEM.
Checks all my boxes, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's it. That's all that I have on my radar are those books for coming out in August. And then Don't Let the Forest In is definitely a book I have on a TBR. And then we'll just let the rest of the month dictate the universe is gonna pick to me.
We're mood readers. Like, we like to be like, oh, this is what I plan to read. 90% of the time, it's but not at all what I plan to read.
I definitely have Ice Planet Barbarians because we are recording. Those are August.
I was gonna say, our books for this month for August.
Yeah,
it's Alien Month, so we're reading Ice Planet Barbarians, a classic, and by Ruby Dixon. I feel like that doesn't even need to be said. And then we're reading.
Sorry, that's the doorbell for my child's room because she sleepwalks. So we have to have a doorbell on there to wake us up in the middle of the night in case she comes out of her room. You might hear it a few more times because she can't stay in her bed after we put her down for the night.
That's how just.
It's a neurodivergent kid thing.
Yeah, it'd be like that. I think it's just a kid thing. Period. Well, yeah.
Comparatively, I don't think it is.
It was not a problem for me. I was like, send me to my room. I have a book. I had a TV with cable. I was set. Just get me out of my room. That was the problem. Anyways, sorry. And then our novella episode is Alien Abduction for Beginners by
Skye McKinnon.
Yes, and that is going to be with special guest who you may have seen on Book Talk, who is famous for being an alien romance girly. Library of Alexis. We met with her just to, catch each other's vibe. Mm-hmm. She's fucking precious.
Also a Sagittarius.
The amount she has in common with Morgan was actually kind of spooky. Is a little spooky. But yeah, no, I'm hoping this blossoms into a beautiful, actual, real life internet friendship.
I would love that so much. I would love to have a little meetup because she's so fun.
She's very cute.
We could go line dancing with her. But episode with the Library of Alexis, and I'm really excited. I've already read Alien Abduction for Beginners. I got it in a Stuff Your Earbuds day, and sorry about that. That book is hilarious.
Can't wait.
In the worst ways. It is so bad, and it is so funny. So we are really looking forward to our month of August with Alien reads, and those are definitely on the list of our TBRs for August as well. Mm-hmm. I think that's everything.
I think it is. That's it. Just a cool...
quick hour and a half.
Hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll cut it down a bit.
We honestly should be called Ladies and Tangents because...
Truly. Yeah.
We be yapping. That's it for this episode of the Unhinged Smut Book Club. Thanks for reading with us. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Stevie. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode filled with chaos, kink, and questionable literary choices.
Until next time, keep it spicy.